is going to be so emotional, this video. Today we are diving into 10 discontinued productivity applications, ones that were acquired or maybe even shut down due to financial difficulties and many other different situations. These are 10 that didn't quite make it, but we all missed them so dearly. So before we begin, do hit subscribe and welcome to Keep Productive. My name is Francesco D'Alessio, and many of these applications I did have a big love for. Today's video is brought to you by Freedom. Now, for those who don't know what Freedom is, it's an application that allows you to block websites and apps and distractions and help you to focus in on what matters. So I want to highlight 3 things that Freedom does really well. The first of those is to work across all of your devices to not only block websites but apps as well, so that you can block those distractions that are getting in the way of deep focused work. And it can do that all at the same time across all of your devices. Now, secondly, you can also schedule a focus session or actually create recurring sessions as well, so that you can really set time on what matters and really align that to what you're working on during the day. You can also use focus sounds to improve the intensity of those sessions as well inside of the Freedom app. And finally, there is a locked mode, which can really be the beast mode activation for your distractions. It really will lock you in and stop you from using these different apps and websites and really help those on those days that particularly willpower is bad. Now, Freedom is used by over 2.5 million people around the world, students, entrepreneurs, professionals alike, that really want to get some better focus. And a Freedom users report says it saves them around 2.5 hours a day in time. And that focus time is really important to really get things done that matter to you. So you can check out Freedom in the link in the description, and a big thanks to Freedom for sponsoring today's feature. So, number 1, we all knew it was Sunrise Calendar. This calendar application was absolutely stunning. It did a great job of blending your social calendar with your other work calendars, but bring them all into one location. And it was really well designed at the time, really nice looking. Despite looking back on it, it probably looks a little bit archaic compared to what other designs are out there now. But this application was hot at the time as well. And actually, Microsoft bought this in 2015. And naturally, they basically took the team and the product and weaved it into Outlook. And that's probably why Outlook Calendar looks half decent these days, is because they have that core experience in there. But such a shame. This is my calendar app, and I'm sure Steve, our editor, will bring up some of the old videos of Google when I had Sunrise on this channel. It was really a great application. So number 2 is another Microsoft fatality. It's Wunderlist. This was the biggest to-do list application of all time, I think, just because it gains so much notoriety around people just using this as their to-do list application. It was popular with students, with those who were creating lists as basic lists for work. And to be honest, had this really nice design. You could customize the background and it just worked really well. Well, essentially, Microsoft bought in 2015, I think just before Sunrise. I can't remember what order it was of the sort of doomsday Microsoft year. But basically, they took that product and turned it in 2017 into Microsoft To Do. So naturally, they announced sort of the shutdown of Wunderlist. Strangely enough, the team who created Wunderlist actually decided to go and create something more recently called Superlist, which they're working on right now. But I will probably do a full feature on that when it's available. I have a preview feature on that if you did want to have a little peek to see what that previous Wunderlist team are doing. But actually, the founder of them has another startup as well called Pitch. If you don't know it, it's a presentation platform and it's really good looking. So number 3 is Mailbox. It was acquired by Dropbox in 2013. And again, a gorgeous email experience. A lot of people liked a Mailbox for its clean design and naturally that sort of third-party feel to email. But Mailbox was, I believe it was 2016 that it was discontinued as a core service from Dropbox. Again, it could have been an acqui-hire where they took people from the team and brought them into the company, or it could have been some natural design or products that they brought in as well. and they use that technology to advance it. But sad to see Mailbox go, for sure. Next up is another email experience, which was Google Inbox. This was started as initially a project, and lots of people got invites to it, and people loved it so much that they replaced their entire Gmail use because of it. The application was clean and it worked really well. It had a really nice design, but it also had some good functionality around like organizing your inbox as well. But eventually Google said, you know, this basically would weave into Gmail. And in 2019, I think that was the point where they discontinued it and essentially just weaved the good stuff into Gmail. And you can tell because Gmail wouldn't have been the product it was today without Google Inbox. Next up is something I actually didn't know much about. I mean, I knew about it, but not a great deal. But Astra Task was a task management application that was acquired by Yahoo. They were acquired in 2013, but they had this really nice experience with some really strong features, and naturally it was shortly shut down by Yahoo at the time. I think this was when Yahoo was going through a bit of a heyday kick up with Marissa Mayer as their new CEO, and naturally the acquisition came shortly around that time. So here's one I do know about. It was an app called Swipes, and it was a really nice looking to-do list application, and sadly it actually was discontinued. I think it was way earlier than what we'd expected. I think it was like 2017 or 18 that actually got discontinued. The team are now working on another product, I believe, called Question Base. But Swipes was such a beautiful, because it was so minimally designed. I did several videos here on the channel. I'm sure Steve will show them. But essentially, it was this collaborative environment that people can work off of. And it was one of the best to-do list applications on the market at the time, to be honest. It's just a shame because I think this was naturally something that they hit a wall against with financial difficulties. I'm not fully sure what happened, but I'm almost certain that's what naturally led to the discontinued. So next up is Catch Notes. This is a note-taking application, and essentially it had really popularity in sort of seamless syncing with devices. It had color coding, hashtags, sort of kicked off that era with Bare Notes adding hashtags and things like that. But it got discontinued in 2013. Shame that Catch Notes didn't continue their role. Obviously, note-taking is quite a hard space to do properly, and I'm sure it didn't really make it past then. So next one's a bit of a weird one because Cloud Magic turned into Newton Mail, but Newton Mail shut down and it was reborn, and I think it was shut down again, and now it's reborn again. So it's strange because it's been started and stopped multiple times. Their new owners seem to be going on a good streak at the moment, and it has been around for about 2 years without any hiccups. But Cloud Magic was previously the email experience it was part of, and then it turned into Newton Mail. Fun fact, I actually worked as a marketing consultant with Newton Mail for about 3 or 4 years, I think it was. So naturally, I remember when they shut down, very sad day. But of course, they were sort of growing quite rapidly, and I think cost of email is actually really high. It's why we see a lot of email applications falter, because as soon as you start wanting to add these advanced features, I think the costs of actually adding it become very difficult because you have to have these bolt-on experiences around the actual application. I'm sure if somebody is an email management application expert, you can talk about the costs, and that's why you typically see third-party email spending a lot more money or offering higher prices in their premium. Next up was another one called Springpad, and it's really weird because I actually, when I was initially checking out productivity applications, Springpad was one of my first then. It had this really nice to-do list ability with web clipping, and a lot of people were like, okay, is this like Evernote's competitor at the time? But apparently they shut down in 2014 due to financial difficulties, but it was a really nice application and it had a really fun vibe to it as well. And finally, Productive. I actually heard of this one, but never really looked into it. And apparently they were acquired in 2012 and discontinued shortly after, I think. And Productive, weird names. I'm not saying that's a reason, but it was a task and project management application that just had a lot of different abilities in it. And again, another one that sadly a lot of people saw go, and naturally a lot of people would have liked to have seen continue. So did I miss any of those classics that were discontinued? Please let me know in the comments below. It'd be great to hear some of your thoughts and experiences around all of these. Like, did you have a fun time with them? Do you miss them? And do you want to see them again? I'm sure be resurrected. But let me know in the comments below. I'd really love to read some of your stories for sure. Thank you very much, folks, and I look forward to seeing you in a future Keep Productive video. Make sure to subscribe and check out our brand new channel, More Productive, which dives into more reviews, deep dives and tutorials for helping find the best productivity application. Thank you very much, folks, and I'll see you soon. Cheerio.